You are running, aren't you? Running away from the one thing that can make you stronger: challenges. You hide behind excuses, behind fears, behind every reason in the world to avoid the fight. You think it is safer this way, do you? You think the world will give you a break if you just turn your back and look the other way. Well, let me tell you something, kid. Life does not care about your comfort. It does not care about how much you wish things were easier, how much you wish you could just slip through the cracks and escape. But here is the truth. Challenges are not your enemies. They are the fire that forges strength. Every obstacle you face is an opportunity to rise, to break free from the prison of your own fears and doubts. And yet you choose to run. You think avoiding the struggle will make you happy, but it will not. It will only make you weak, small, insignificant, and the world will pass you by without a second thought, without a single glance in your direction. What if I told you that the real power comes from not avoiding the pain, the hardship, the suffering, but from embracing it? What if I told you that running over challenges, not away from them, is the only way to truly win in this life? You think it is too hard? Too risky? You think you are not strong enough? Well, that is exactly what they want you to believe, but you have it in you. You just have to stop running. Take a moment and think about what is happening in your life right now. Where are you? What are you doing? And more importantly, what is stopping you from pushing yourself further? It is not the world that is holding you back, is it? It is not some invisible force or some enemy that you cannot defeat. No, the real problem is much simpler, much closer than that. The real problem is you. You are your own worst enemy. You are the one who stands in your own way, who blocks your path, who holds you back with every step you take. You tell yourself it is too hard. You tell yourself you are not good enough. You make excuses over and over again for why you cannot do something, for why it is easier to sit still and wait. But why? Why do you keep letting fear control you? Why do you keep letting your insecurities pull you down like an anchor, dragging you deeper into the ocean of doubt? You think it is the world that is too cruel, that life is unfair, that the odds are stacked against you. But let me ask you something. Have you ever really faced your fears? Have you ever looked at the things that scare you, that make your heart race and your palms sweat, and said, "I will not let this control me"? No, you have not. You think it is easier to avoid the fight, to pretend like the challenge does not exist. But that is the lie you keep telling yourself, and it is keeping you trapped. Let me remind you of something else. Avoiding the challenge does not make you strong. It makes you weak. Every time you shy away from the fight, every time you take a step back instead of forward, you are telling yourself you are not enough. You are telling yourself you do not have what it takes. And every time you do that, you reinforce the very thing that holds you back, the belief that you cannot win, that you cannot succeed. But this is not the truth, is it? The truth is, you can win. You can succeed, but not if you continue to run away from everything that challenges you. You see, what you are really afraid of is not the challenge itself. No, what you are afraid of is failure. You are terrified of falling short, of not measuring up, of showing the world that you are not perfect. You tell yourself that failure will destroy you, that it will crush you, that it will break you beyond repair. But here is the reality you are avoiding. Failure is not the end. It is only a beginning. It is a lesson. It is a sign that you are pushing yourself, that you are trying to reach something greater than yourself. It is not a reflection of who you are, but rather an opportunity for growth, for improvement, for becoming something more than what you are now. So, what are you afraid of? The truth is, you are not afraid of failure. You are afraid of stepping outside your comfort zone. You are afraid of taking risks, of pushing your limits, of failing and then getting up again. It is easier to stay where you are, to keep everything the same, to avoid change. But let me tell you something, nothing great ever came from comfort. Nothing extraordinary ever happened because someone was too afraid to fail. And do not even get me started on the way you think about your emotions. You have allowed anger, sadness, and fear to control your every move. You let these emotions dictate your actions, your decisions, and your entire outlook on life. Anger clouds your judgment. Sadness drains your energy. Fear paralyzes you, freezes you in place, and keeps you from moving forward. You are not weak because you feel these things. You are weak because you let them rule you. You let them dictate your life instead of mastering them. And that, my friend, is where the problem lies. You have allowed your emotions to become the puppeteers, pulling your strings and making you dance. You have let yourself become a victim of your own feelings, rather than taking control of them and turning them into your greatest strength. Every moment you waste running from your challenges, you are reinforcing the idea that you cannot win. You are telling yourself that you do not have the power to overcome, to master, to take control. And that is the greatest lie of all. The truth is, you are stronger than you think. You are more capable than you realize. But as long as you keep running, as long as you keep letting fear and doubt decide your fate, you will never know just how strong you can be. So, let me ask you again, what is stopping you? What is holding you back? The only thing that can truly stop you is you. You are the problem. And only you can fix it. Look at yourself. What do you see? A person who has been beaten down by life, who has allowed every setback, every disappointment to define their worth. You think this is who you are? Someone who runs away at the first sign of difficulty. Someone who hides in the shadows, too afraid to step into the light and face what is rightfully theirs. You are telling yourself that it is too hard. You are telling yourself that the odds are against you, that you have been dealt a bad hand. But what if I told you that this is exactly what they want you to believe? They want you to feel small, to feel insignificant, to feel like you do not matter. Society, your so-called friends, the people around you, they all want you to stay exactly where you are, in your place, afraid to move, afraid to change. They want you to think that you are weak, that you cannot achieve anything because you do not have the right resources, the right opportunities, or the right talent. But here is the truth. None of that matters. What matters is your will, your drive, your ability to push forward when the world is trying to push you back. So, what are you going to do? Are you going to keep hiding behind excuses? Are you going to keep playing the victim, blaming your circumstances for why you cannot succeed? Or are you going to rise up, face the pain, and take what is yours? The choice is yours. But if you continue to make excuses, if you continue to let your fears hold you back, then do not expect anything to change. I do not expect the world to bend to your will, because it will not. The world does not care about your complaints, your excuses, or your sob stories. It only cares about results. It only cares about those who have the strength, the courage, and the will to go after what they want, no matter how hard it gets. What is stopping you from being one of those people? What is stopping you from breaking free from the chains of your own doubts and insecurities? Are you really telling me that you are content with where you are? That you are happy being stuck in this endless loop of mediocrity? Because that is exactly what you are doing. You are choosing comfort over greatness. You are choosing to remain in the safety of the known, rather than stepping into the unknown where true power lies. Do you want to know what sets the successful apart from the failures? It is not talent, it is not luck, and it is not even opportunity. It is their ability to embrace discomfort, to step into the storm and weather it with grit and determination. It is their refusal to back down, to quit, to let life dictate their fate. Successful people do not wait for things to get easier. They make things easier by taking action, by moving forward no matter how many times they fall. They know that failure is not a final destination. It is simply a stepping stone, a lesson, a reminder that they are still alive, still pushing, still learning. So, why are you so afraid of failure? Why do you let it control you? Why do you let it convince you that you cannot handle it? You think that failure will define you, that it will destroy your sense of self-worth. But let me tell you something. Failure does not define you. It only exposes your weakness if you allow it to. If you rise after every fall, if you learn from every mistake, failure becomes just another part of the journey, not the end. It's time for you to stop running away from challenges. It is time for you to stop pretending that you are helpless in the face of adversity. You are not helpless. You are not weak. You are strong beyond measure. But until you stop making excuses, until you stop blaming the world for your failures, you will never see just how strong you can be. You will remain stuck, trapped in the prison of your own fears and self-doubt. And trust me, that is not a place you want to stay. You are not going to get anywhere by sitting in the corner and crying about how unfair life is. No one will come to save you. No one will come to hand you your success on a silver platter. If you want something, if you want to change your life, you will have to fight for it. You will have to push yourself harder than you ever thought possible. And yes, it will be uncomfortable. Yes, it will hurt. But that is how it works. Nothing worth having comes easily. And if you think it will, then you have been living in a fantasy. So ask yourself, are you ready to stop being a victim of your own mind? Are you ready to step out of the shadows and claim the life that is waiting for you? Or will you continue to make excuses, to hide, to run? The world is not going to wait for you to decide. The question is, are you going to rise and take control of your fate, or will you keep pretending that it is too hard? You have heard the truth. You have been confronted with the reality of your situation. Now it is time to understand what can be done about it. I am not here to give you false hope, nor will I sugarcoat anything for you. The solution does not lie in wishful thinking, in waiting for some miracle to fall into your lap. The solution lies within you, waiting to be unlocked, to be unleashed. You have the power. You have always had the power, but you have not known how to use it. You have spent so much time hiding, so much time running from your fears, that you have forgotten what it means to truly take control. But let me remind you, control is not about avoiding the struggle. It is about facing it head-on, embracing it, and bending it to your will. The moment you realize that your greatest strength comes from within, you will never be the same. You will no longer be a prisoner to your emotions, to your fears, or to your doubts. You will be the master of your own fate. So, what is the solution? It is simple, really. Stop letting life happen to you and start making life happen for you. Stop being reactive. Stop waiting for things to change. If you want to change, you must be proactive. You must make the decision that you will no longer be a passenger on this ride, but the one steering the wheel. You must take responsibility for your actions, for your thoughts, and for your future. You cannot control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you respond. And that is where your power lies. Now, let us talk about fear. You have been running from it for so long, but let me ask you something. What have you gained by running? Nothing. Nothing at all. Fear is not your enemy. It is a tool. It is a weapon that, when used correctly, can propel you to places you never thought possible. Fear is a sign that you are on the edge of growth. It is a sign that you are stepping out of your comfort zone, and that is where all the magic happens. If you want to become stronger, if you want to achieve the things you have only dreamed of, you must stop avoiding fear and start embracing it. You must learn to harness it, to use it as fuel to propel you forward rather than allow it to paralyze you. The next step is to stop being controlled by your emotions. Your anger, your sadness, your frustration, they are not your enemies. They are a reflection of your inner turmoil, a reflection of your resistance to change. These emotions are signals pointing the way toward your weaknesses. The moment you stop reacting to them and instead start observing them is the moment you gain control. When anger rises, do not let it consume you. When sadness threatens to swallow you whole, do not let it drag you under. Instead, acknowledge it, understand it, and then move past it. Emotions are powerful, but they are only as powerful as you allow them to be. To take control, you must first accept responsibility for your life. You must take ownership of every decision you make, every thought you have, and every action you take. There is no one else to blame for where you are in life. There is no one else to point your finger at and say, it is their fault. The moment you accept that, the moment you accept full responsibility, is the moment you take back your power. No more excuses, no more waiting for someone to save you. You are the one who must make the change. You are the one who must decide that enough is enough. The solution is discipline. Discipline is the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. It is not about waiting for the perfect moment, for the right opportunity. It is about doing what needs to be done, regardless of how you feel. Discipline is waking up when you do not want to. It is pushing through the pain, the fear, and the uncertainty. It is doing the work when nobody is watching, when the world does not care, and when you feel like giving up. That is when discipline counts the most. Success does not come from talent. It does not come from luck. It comes from relentless, unwavering discipline. It comes from taking action, from showing up every day, from refusing to accept anything less than your best. You will not always feel motivated. You will not always feel inspired. But that is the point. The moment you realize that motivation is temporary and discipline is permanent, you will understand what it truly means to succeed. Finally, the solution is growth. You must commit to constant growth. You must become addicted to progress, to the idea of getting better every single day. The world will try to pull you down. It will throw obstacles in your path. It will challenge you, and it will test you. But you will rise above it. You will grow stronger with every challenge, wiser with every failure, and you will not stop. You will continue to push, to learn, to grow, until there is nothing left to stop you. The solution is in your hands. You already have everything you need to succeed. The only question is, will you take control, or will you continue to let life dictate your fate? The choice is yours. But if you truly want to rise above, if you truly want to see what you are capable of, then start now. Embrace the struggle, face your fears, and take control of your life. That is the only way to win. Now that you understand what needs to be done, it is time to visualize your transformation. Picture yourself standing tall, unshaken by the challenges that once terrified you. Picture yourself as someone who has broken free from the chains of self-doubt, from the constraints of fear and insecurity. The person you are becoming is unstoppable, unyielding, and powerful. But before you can step into that power, you must truly believe it. You must see it, not just as a distant dream, but as your inevitable reality. Imagine waking up every day with a sense of purpose, knowing that the obstacles that once seemed insurmountable are now stepping stones for your growth. You no longer see setbacks as reasons to quit, but as opportunities to prove your strength, your resilience, and your resolve. Each challenge is no longer something to run from. It is something to conquer, something to embrace with open arms. You now walk with confidence because you know the power that lies within you. You have learned to control your emotions, to use your anger, your sadness, and your fear as fuel to propel you forward. Think about what that feels like. Imagine the surge of energy you feel every time you face a problem, knowing that it will not break you, but make you stronger. You now understand that your weaknesses are not limitations. They are areas for improvement, areas where you will push yourself further, areas where you will grow. You have learned that strength does not come from avoiding weakness, but from confronting it and mastering it. Every flaw, every imperfection is an opportunity for growth, for transformation. And this is not just some abstract idea. This is real. You are in control now. You have the power to shape your own reality. Your success is not determined by external factors, by the things that happen to you, but by how you choose to respond. You choose to rise above the chaos, to carve your own path. You choose to rise above the chaos, to take what is yours, to carve your own path. No longer will you let life dictate your fate. You will dictate your fate. You will decide what happens next. Now, feel that surge of power coursing through you. Imagine looking at the world around you and seeing it for what it truly is, a place full of opportunities, full of chances to prove yourself. Nothing is impossible for you anymore. You are no longer afraid to fail because you understand that failure is not the end. It is simply a part of the process, a stepping stone on your way to greatness. Every failure, every setback becomes a lesson. Every fall becomes a springboard to launch you even higher. You understand now that the only real limits are the ones you place on yourself. You are not bound by the restrictions of your past. You are not limited by the mistakes you have made. Those are behind you. They do not define you. What defines you is your ability to rise from the ashes, to come back stronger, more determined, and more powerful than ever before. You are a force to be reckoned with. You are someone who will not back down, who will not accept defeat, who will not stop until they have achieved everything they set out to do. Think about your future. Picture yourself in the place where you want to be, not just in terms of success, but in terms of who you have become. You are no longer the person who makes excuses. You are no longer the person who gives up when things get tough. You are the person who faces challenges with a smile, knowing that you are the one in control, knowing that you have the strength to overcome whatever comes your way. This is the power of mastery. This is the power of control, and this power is yours for the taking. You are no longer the victim of your circumstances. You are the creator of your reality. You decide what happens next. You decide what you want to become. You decide who you will be. And I will tell you this, the world has no choice but to bow to those who pull the strings, to those who have the strength and the will to make things happen. You are no longer bound by fear, by doubt, or by any of the limitations you once believed were real. You are now the master of your own destiny, and that is a power that no one can take from you. The road ahead may not always be easy, but it will be yours to walk, and you will walk it with confidence, with strength, and with an unshakable belief in yourself, because now you know, deep down, that there is nothing you cannot achieve. So go ahead, take control. Step into your power, let the world see what you are truly capable of. Because when you do, there will be no stopping you. You will rise above everything that once held you back, and you will become the person you were always meant to be. The choice is yours. The power is yours. The time is now. You stand on the precipice now, looking out over the vast horizon of your life. What you see before you is not a path paved in gold, nor a life free of struggle. No, what you see is a battlefield, a place where only the strong will survive, where only those who refuse to quit will rise to the top. But here is the truth you must understand. This battlefield is yours to conquer. The world, with all its obstacles, challenges, and setbacks, is nothing more than a test. And you have the power to pass it. There is no turning back now. The choice you have made is the one that will define your future. You are no longer just another face in the crowd. You are someone who has chosen to rise above, to take control of their life, to fight for what they deserve. You are someone who will not be stopped, who will not bow to the pressures of the world. The fire inside of you has been lit, and it is not something that can be extinguished. Fire inside of you has been lit, and it is not something that can be extinguished. This is your moment. This is the point where you either step forward and claim what is yours, or you turn away and remain forever stuck in the shadows of your own doubt. You cannot afford to hesitate. The world does not wait for the weak. It does not wait for those who are afraid to take action. The world moves relentlessly, and it rewards those who are willing to move with it. So I ask you now, are you going to move, or are you going to stay behind? Are you going to rise, or are you going to let the world crush you beneath its weight? You have already come so far. You have already faced the darkness within, confronted your fears, and learned the truth about yourself. But that was only the beginning. Now it is time to show the world what you are made of. It is time to show everyone who ever doubted you, everyone who ever tried to hold you down, that they were wrong. It is time to prove that you are not a victim, that you are not a slave to your circumstances. You are a warrior, and it is time to fight. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is the action you take today. Every moment you waste is a moment you will never get back. So do not wait. Do not think that tomorrow will be easier, because it will not be. Tomorrow is a lie. The only time you have is right now, this very second. Get up, do something. Take the first step, no matter how small, because once you take that first step, the next one will come easier, And the next one after that will be even easier. You will build momentum, and that momentum will carry you through every obstacle, every setback, every challenge that comes your way. The world is watching. You have the power to change your life, to rise above the mediocrity, and to claim what you were always meant to have. The time is now. Stand up, take control, and show them all that you are not to be underestimated. Show them that you will not be defeated. Show them that you are a force to be reckoned with, and that no one can stop you. Oh, what are you waiting for? The choice is yours. The world is waiting for you to make your move. Will you answer the call, or will you let this opportunity slip through your fingers? The time to act is now. Take control and let them watch as you rise.